Hey guys, this is George again. So, in the last video, we learned about pronouns and how to conjugate them with the verb to be, and we also talked about gender. And since I haven't received any suggestions for video subject, I'm gonna follow up on that content and talk about talk a little bit deeper about gender. Okay? So first of all, I want to apologize for some things that happened in the last video. Watching the video afterwards, I noticed that I said you guys a lot. Okay, I said it a lot of times. I promise it's not gonna happen in this video. And I also would like to remember you guys that your suggestions are really important. Okay, so I really hope you guys. I said I was not gonna say that. I was just gonna say it. Okay, I really hope you go to the comment section and give me some suggestions about a subject for the next video, okay? So with no further ado, let's go straight to the point here. Remember that I told you that in Portuguese we have gender even for objects. It's easy to know the gender when we're talking about people, right? But what about objects? I'm gonna give you an example with this sentence here. If I say, the table I bought yesterday is not as good as I thought it would be. Okay, I'm talking about the table. Well, in Portuguese, as I've already said, I need to translate table along with its gender. Okay, so when I say the table in English, it's neutral. Okay, you don't need to know if it's male or female. But in order for me to translate this, I need first to know if it's male or female because I need the article here. Okay, in English you say the for whatever, but in Portuguese we need to say o for male and a for female. Okay, not o and a. Okay, this is in Portuguese. O and a. What's the general rule for gender? For me to know the gender. The general rule is that words ending with the letter O are usually male, okay? And words ending with A are usually female. But remember, this is the general rule, okay? There are other words that don't end with O or A, and you still have to specify the gender. We're gonna take a look at that a little bit later here. Let's go for some examples here. When I say the soap in English, you already know what it is, okay? But remember, words ending in O usually are male, okay? So the article here I'm gonna translate as o sabão, okay? O sabão. Why O? Because it ends in O, therefore it's male. Okay. The table. The a. Why a? Because mesa ends with a, and therefore it's female. Okay. The soap, o sabão. The table, a mesa. Now, in English, you have some words, some different words for female and male. For example, the boy and the girl. Okay, you don't have a word for both genders. And in Portuguese, Usually, what has the male gender? I'm sorry, what ends with the letter O, usually it has the female gender too. For example, you say the boy and the girl, right? To differentiate between genders. But here, if I say o menino, all I need to do is flex the article to the female form and the word as well. Okay, so o menino, a menina. Usually, almost all the words have the both forms, okay? But there are some cases, just as every rule has its exception, okay? There are some cases where it's not applied. For example, how to say the word boneco in English. So in English, if you're gonna give a boy a gift, okay, and you give, for example, like a Captain American, okay, it's a model of Captain American. So what you would call doll for the girl, you call action figure for the boy, right? So when you say the action figure, in Portuguese we say o boneco, okay? O boneco. And the doll we say a boneca, okay? A lot of words, you can do this with a lot of words in Portuguese. If it has the female form, usually has the female. I'm sorry. If it has the male form, usually has the female form, and all you have to do is change O by A. I mean, replace O with A. Okay. So in English also, you don't say the gender when you're referring to a cat, for example. Oh, the cat, whether it's male or female, you just say the cat in English. But in Portuguese, remember, you have to differentiate here. You have to distinguish the gender. So when you say the cat, if it's male, you're gonna say o gato. Okay? If it's female, a gata. Okay? Now remember, guys, there are other words that don't end with O or A, and you still have to distinguish the gender here. Remember that we had an example in the last video where I talked about the car, for example. The car doesn't end with O, neither with an A. So how can I tell the gender? Well, car is male in Portuguese, okay? So how are you gonna be able to tell? Practicing, okay? So for this, you're gonna have to read and get used to the gender when you don't have how to differentiate if the word ends with O or A, okay? So the car, o carro, okay? Also, there are some words that, despite ending with O, they are female, and there are other words that, despite ending with A, are male. Okay, George, this is getting really difficult right now. Yes, I know, but this is just how complex Portuguese can be. So you really have to read a lot so that you can internalize all of this gender thing, okay? Okay, so give us an example of when the word ends with O and still female. Well, when you say libido in Portuguese, you say a libido, not O, libido. Okay, so despite ending with the letter O, it's female. Therefore, if I'm gonna say the libido, sorry, if I'm gonna say the libido in English, I'm gonna have to say a libido in Portuguese. Okay, now give us an example when the word ends with the letter A and is female. One example is the word enigma. Okay, in English, you just say the enigma. But despite ending with the letter A, in Portuguese, you have to translate it as o enigma. Okay? Now, as you guys can tell, there's no way for me to be explaining all the words that are exceptions to the rule here. And it wouldn't do any good anyway. So, as I told you before, you really need to read a lot so that your brain gets used to the gender. Okay? There's no other way for you to practice this. There's not a rule that works for everything or that covers all the cases. Okay? So this is it for it today, guys. Especially because the last video was already really long anyway. So I would just like to remember you to leave me some suggestions for the next videos here on the comment section below. And then also, as an exercise for you, you could pick some words in English. For example, let's say the food, and translate it into Portuguese. Okay, you have Google, you have access to Google, so look it up whether its gender is male or female. Okay, so pick a lot of words and try to translate them into the gender so that your brain starts getting used to this thing. Okay, this is really important for you to be speaking fluently in the future. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and remember, share this with your friends. Maybe they would like to learn second language too. We've already gone through the advantages of knowing or speaking other language. Okay, I'm not gonna go through that again, but you know that that's a very good advantage. Okay, thank you, guys. See you in the next video.